They're not poor, innocent asylum seekers. Yes, some are, but mostly aren't. And many of those who say they're asylum seekers don't even fit the legal definition of asylum seeker. They were putting them up in 55 apartments a day. There was one email Catholic Charities sent back to the city of Chicago. We have to put together another shelter. We had to reopen a shelter because there's so much spousal and child abuse by these men that they're protecting. Why are they letting all these people coming in here illegally, not vetting them, not waiting? One person said he had to wait 15 years. Why are they doing this? And they're protecting these people. They don't want us to show the truth. And if they're so proud of what they're doing, right, and they're following the rules and all this crap, why are they hiding it? We know why they're hiding it. They know exactly what they're doing.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rebecca Weber. This is your podcast, Better for America. Joining me now is the host of Behind Enemy Lines podcast, terrific podcast. Check it out. His name is Terry Newsome. Terry Newsome is a Southside Chicago native, former Democrat. He left the Democratic Party in 2013 due to concerns about its shift towards radicalism. Terry, welcome to the show. It's great to have you with me.
Thanks for having me, Rebecca.
Terry, today, really today more than ever, Americans are threatened by violent crime, murder, human trafficking, including this Venezuelan gang. These are illegal immigrants associated with the transnational criminal gang, Tren de Aragua. Can you walk us through the specific kinds of criminal activities or interactions that you've documented relating to this gang, and then perhaps tell us why what you experienced in Chicago? This is big stuff.
It's really crazy. Chicago, you don't even hear about it too much compared to New York and Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield. We have so many locations. I found them in. It first started, I live in a western suburb, Downers Grove, nice suburb. They started busing them in from the border there, dropping them off at our train station because Mayor Johnson said no more buses, he'll confiscate them. And that was just a ploy to pretend he, was trying to keep them out. And then my neighbors would tell me, hey, they're here. Like the second bus was mostly men from Venezuela. And I'm filming around Christmas time, and this guy flashes his gang sign at me. I knew he was a gang member. I knew he was a Venezuelan. I didn't know he was Tren de Aragua until, if you all remember, in late January when the police officers were beat up in New York, and then all of a sudden the reporters start saying it's Tren de Aragua. I'm like, oh my God, that's the same gang sign. This guy's a Venezuelan. It's the same tattoos. So this person, this poor innocent asylum seeker, right, that came here for a better life, he's 40 feet off his bus from Mexico, and he's flashing and trying to intimidate and tell America, I'm here, right? Tren de Aragua's here. So that's how these people's mindset is. They're not poor, innocent asylum seekers. Yes, some are, but mostly aren't. And many of those who say they're asylum seekers don't even fit the legal definition of asylum seeker. So after I had that encounter, I started going to the train station where they'd be funneled in from all different suburbs. And they'd be dumped off in buses at train stations in Chicago. And then they go into the Union Station. So I go there, and I was sitting there, and I see a Hispanic police officer at the train station. Tattoos like a gang member, by the way. He had on his neck, on his knuckles, he's a Metro Police State officer. And I said, hey, this is where all the immigrants come in. He goes, well, why are you asking? I go, well, I'm curious. They're dropping them off in my neighborhood, and I heard they come here. He goes, sometimes. I go, do they have handlers that pick them and greet them? Sometimes. I go, okay. So I knew he didn't want to talk to me. I go, sit down. I'm not down for a minute. The bus comes in. Here comes all the Venezuelans with the white Red Cross blankets over their shoulders. Guess who the greeter was? The police officer talking in Spanish. He lied to me. It's all on film, right? And so then I found even the cops tried to harass me, tell me I couldn't be in our train station, big, beautiful Union Station. They said, I'm trespassing. I'm not allowed to be there. I'm not allowed to film. I'm like, you guys got criminal Venezuelans here. And then they took him to a bus, and I'm filming on the sidewalk to a bus in the Chicago Office of Emergency Management. Lady goes, I can't film the bus on the sidewalk in the street. You need permission. I'm like, I don't need permission to film a bus in the city street. So this has been their MO from the very beginning, everywhere in Chicago, everywhere. You stand on a public sidewalk, a public street, they get aggressive. They try to intimidate you. They're being told to do this, right? And then these security guards, Garda World, is part of an international security company that's not even American-based. Yes, they have a U.S. entity, but it's from Quebec, Canada. So We're basically giving our tax dollars.
Yeah, Terry, I want to stop there for a moment. I want to talk about Garda World. This is really interesting. This is unbelievable, quite frankly. Mayor Brandon Johnson in Chicago, he's hired this security company known as Garda World. He's paid them tens of millions of dollars, essentially to protect what you believe are dangerous, potentially very dangerous people who are directly connected with this gang, this transnational gang, Tren de Aragua. This, to me, is like just unbelievable that Americans are not aware of this. I want to share a clip of an encounter that you had with a handful of really brutal security guards from Garda World. Let's show the clip.
Oh, that's New Life Center. Not record. Can you get off our property? Don't put your phone in my face because I'm going to smack you.
Don't touch me for assault. You can't touch me. You touch me. Touch me.
I'm not touching.
Wow. I mean, this is just really unbelievable. You know, you're sort of innocently walking down. You've got these security guards who are obviously very disturbed that you might be filming. This is very concerning. We're seeing how deeply impacted America's communities are, especially in Chicago. Talk a little bit about that encounter and what you're seeing.
Yeah, I'll talk about the encounter, and I kind of skipped over who they're protecting, which is really important to share that with you. But yeah, this is Garda World. This is a hotel, South Shore Hotel on Lakeshore Drive. For those of you familiar with Lakeshore Drive, in Hyde Park, where Barack Hussein Obama is from, where the University of Chicago is. They're overlooking Lake Michigan, and it's full of Venezuelans. And I was there with an older 71-year-old Epoch Times reporter doing a story on Chicago. We were standing right at a taxi stand on the sidewalk before that clip part. And we were only there for 2 minutes, and immediately aggressive, telling we can't film in public and all these crazy things. And after the clip that you showed, she actually said, "I hope I broke your phone." She purposely, she hit me twice. And the second time I dropped my phone, cracked the screen, and they're trying to protect. So yes, there are some innocent asylum seekers and families, right? Most of these asylum seekers don't even fit the definition of asylum seekers, nor do they follow the process of going to the closest countries, what they're supposed to do with respect to asylum seekers. I ran FOIAs, Freedom of Information Acts, from the Inn of Chicago, the Standard Club, the Holiday Inn, Gage Park. These are police incident reports. I have close to 1,400 FOIAs, and I have evidence of this is the police writing it up, right? Human sex trafficking using the Vortex phone. What's the Vortex phone? You Google search it. The Vortex phone is the Obama phone. That's the Obama phone. I have pictures of the Tren de Aragua guys trying to talk to me with his phone that didn't work. He pulled out another one. He's got 2 phones in his hands. And I said, Americana, and he goes, "See." So we're putting them up here. We're putting these guys that are using phones that we pay for to create human sex trafficking incidences on the WhatsApp app and putting these images on. This is all the police. This is not me making an assumption. This is in the police report. These police officers don't want these people here. They have child pornography, grooming of 11-year-old children. They beat the heck out of their wives. These liberals that want these people here, right? These liberal women, one of the biggest crimes they do, they pull their wife's hairs, they strangle her, stab one, cut her cheek. They beat up a 4-year-old son to get back at a wife. One woman and again, this is all in the police reports. It's not me. One of the women was beat up really bad because she sent our tax dollars back to her parents in Venezuela. He found out about it. It's all in the police report. And then there's another, I have a couple stories that were on Gateway Pundit about Catholic Charities. I'm a Catholic. I'm not a good Catholic. I'm a Catholic. Catholic Charities is so involved in this. They were putting them up in 55 apartments a day. There was one email Catholic Charities sent back to the city of Chicago. We have to put together another shelter. We had to reopen a shelter because there's so much spousal and child abuse by these men that they're protecting. They're protecting these people.
Now, let's talk about, it is unbelievable. I mean, it blows my mind away that this is happening right under our noses. I mean, it's happening in our backyards. It's happening in our communities. How do you see families in your area? How do you see average, everyday Americans who are going about their daily lives. How do you see them being impacted by this kind of activity that's growing?
It's funny you said that. Yeah. So last night on Facebook, I got a message from a woman from the Southwest side who I didn't know. She sent me a friend request. She's from where I grew up in the Southwest side. And then she's like, I'm glad you're covering this. She goes, I'm from, Southwest side. And I was with my daughter, and this illegal immigrant couldn't speak English, tried to grab my purse at a Home Depot. And I screamed, thank God the security guard come. She goes, I'm sure they're coming from the 73rd and Cicero Holiday Inn, which is where I was at with Ben Berquam when he was assaulted as well. And they're protecting these people. They don't want us to show the truth. And if they're so proud of what they're doing, right, and they're following the rules and all this crap, why are they hiding it? We know why they're hiding it. They know exactly what they're doing. And the damage is here. Tom Homan was on the show a few weeks ago, and, they're going to secure the border immediately, but the cancer is here. We have secured guard agents that can't even keep track of these people, border agents that can't even keep track of them, just writing them in. How are we going to expect our marshals and everyone to go and track these criminal, murderous gang members that are all over the country? There's another incident right by actually down my block. A doctor's house was robbed when he was out of town by gang members. They didn't say, the head of my HOH called me because she knows the stuff that I'm covering. And she said the police said it was a Venezuelan gang. She didn't say Tren de Aragua. I don't know if it is. Oakbrook Mall, high-end mall right by my house here. That's where we go to. 150 for the first 6 months of the year, 150 illegal immigrants, multiple shoplifting, organized shoplifting. Inside their vehicles, they find the badges. The feds give them little ankle bracelets cut off in the car. And then they get arrested over and over again.
Over and over
again. They were doing a street takeover, 200 of them. Now, I'm not saying they're all illegal. I'm not saying they're Venezuelans or gang members. Here's what I am saying is I was in the city. I just came across it on an accident, a major intersection. They're doing wheelies on the medians, burnouts in the middle of the street, riding on the sidewalk, all types of motorcycles, all speaking Spanish. And many of them were wearing masks without license plates. They took them off the back of their, why? And my cop friend buddy said, yeah, I go, they were there for 45 minutes. I'm like, what the heck? We're told not to go after them.
Yeah. I mean, this is really impacting American communities across the entire nation. What do you think, Terry, needs to happen to really curb this influence of Tren de Aragua and protect both local and migrant communities in Chicago? This has got to stop. What needs to happen to stop this and to reverse this? Because it's only going to get better. We don't know what kind of organized crime they've got planned and when they could all unleash, because this isn't just happening in Chicago. This is happening across all major cities in the U.S.
Yeah, so you made a good point, too, is that I also took the reporter to Little Village, heart of Hispanic, right? 25 pastors from Chicago. I had my buddy pastor, he had to translate for us. These Hispanic people are typically Democrats, right? Are upset about what's going on, know about Tren de Aragua, upset with what they're doing to the community. One of the guys said, excuse me, we used to look at America as being a beacon for the political process. Why are they letting all these people coming in here illegally, not vetting them, not waiting? One person said he had to wait 15 years. Why are they doing this? Are they expecting votes? I swear, this is from a Hispanic guy who couldn't speak English, right? So it's affecting their reputations, their communities. It's affecting them. And, real clear, I'm not against legal immigration. My grandparents came from Italy, right? I'm not against that. I'm against illegal immigration. I'm tired of the leftists saying, well, we have a broken system. What's broken? I mean, because we don't let as many people in as you want? Is that what's broken? Yeah. We don't have an obligation. We don't have a legal or moral obligation to let everyone in the world come into America with or without a job or anything, right? Yeah. And so until we secure the borders and we start having people in the communities and law enforcement stand up, and you hear Trump talking about he's going to start enacting some of these old laws and stuff to go after these criminal gangs. I mean, geez, we have 15,000 that we know are murderers, right? I ran a search for Chicago Police Department on Tren de Aragua. I had 420 line items associated with Tren de Aragua, 3 first-degree murders, rapes, all this crazy stuff. It's going on within our community.
I mean, there's got to be something wrong with Mayor Brandon Johnson to just, let this kind of stuff happen. You have to think, is he being paid to turn a blind eye or to arrange security around these potentially dangerous people? This is something that more and more Americans, it's the reason why we do this show, Terry, is our great listeners, NAMAC members, number one issue is close the border, secure our country. Crime is soaring. And so that's why we so appreciate that you are not only speaking about it, but you're actually putting yourself in potentially harm's way in order to get the truth and deliver the truth. But we need change. I mean, it's got to start from the top. We need a president who sees the serious threat that wide open borders pose to all Americans. And then we need the states to really clean up and go after the bad guys. So we've got to dig deeper and find out why this is happening and why so many people who are here to serve, who are in elected positions to serve American people, are helping those very people who are dangerous and a threat to American life.
Yeah, you brought up a good point about Mayor Brandon Johnson, right? So, everyone sees him on the news, radical leftist, right? But he always talks about, I'm a black man. Nothing wrong with being a black man. Be proud of being a black man. We all support that. But why are you giving an international company that's not even American-based all these security contracts? There's 20-some shelters, multiple guards, multiple locations. So why aren't you giving your black men friends, the minorities that you keep talking about that you represent, why aren't they getting these contracts? Why are you going with the company that's not even an American company? And why did you give the same company, GardaWorld, that has no experience in putting these military tents together, a $29 million contract? I got it from the procurement thing. People in the community found out about it. They got a rate. So what is the connection, to your point, Roy? Why is he given this international BlackRock type or what Blackwater type firm $29 million contracts of what they didn't really have experience for? And if you ask Denver, Colorado, they signed a $30 million contract with the GardaWorld. And then they found out that they didn't really do this before and they ended their contract. But Mayor Brandon Johnson went forward with this $29 million contract. So there's more to come on this story. And we're going to hopefully get to the bottom of it, because there's so much money being spent, wasted, and they're telling us to shut up. Don't film it. Don't talk about it, and just cram it down our throats and move on.
Yeah. And if we do nothing, we know that evil will prevail. I mean, these are lives of women and children that are being brutalized. The child trafficking should break anyone's heart who's listening. We should never want to turn our backs to young children who are so vulnerable. And, it really is a terrible thing. And, speaking of children, Terry, you have made really, I think, incredible, good, bold waves as an advocate for parental rights and really community values. You've taken a stand. This is going back now during the COVID years. You took a stand back then against what you described as authoritarian COVID measures. You were challenging local school boards and government policies that you believe jeopardize family rights and community safety. But I think recently your efforts have focused really on combating the sexualization of children in education. Now, this is insane that we're talking about materials that are given to our young children in school libraries, and these are totally inappropriate. You've been outspoken against the rise of explicit content in school libraries, but I know how tough of a battle that has been for you. What do you see as the root cause of this push to introduce material that's inappropriate? And what are you doing to call on our communities to push back?
Yeah, so it's all intertwined. Again, I was never involved. The first forced masking, then I saw the content, and I saw a bunch of mothers. The moms are doing the battle for our children, the school boards. It was all moms and maybe one or two dad, 10, 12, 15 moms. And I was shocked, and I thought that we'd have the left, the independent, a whole army of parents coming and defending our children, and that wasn't the case, right? Some more fathers are starting to get involved. We're a little more challenged here in the state of Illinois because we have a radical Governor Pritz. I call him Prickster. We have him in the state of Illinois, and he's a radical leftist, and he signed a no book banning bill last year. So that means, say, if we take over the school board, all of us, right, and we say, hey, we don't want pornographic books. Again, not against gay children, just like we're not against legal immigration. I'm against oral sex images and crazy transgender. In my library, they have pride reading for 2-year-old children to 6. My local library. That stuff is ridiculous, right? Those are the things we're against. I want to help a gay child, get through his challenges just like a normal kid in high school. They're kids. They're children like my children. But don't sit here and have the left tell us, well, you know what? If they don't see this oral sex picture in their high school or grammar school, they won't feel included, or they might commit suicide. That's an absolute lie. If that's true, right, then why don't heterosexual, I got boy-girl twins, I don't see them walking around, Dad, where's some porn? You know what I mean? I'm being sarcastic.
No,
There's
it's
no
true.
reason to show porn. And it's so ridiculous that we have to have this conversation, and then they demonize us for simply saying, can you just keep the porn out? You want to have books for these kids?
Yeah.
To help them cope with their sexual? Sure, knock yourself out. There's nothing wrong with it. And yes, they should be welcomed, and I think they are. But I think the radical left is creating more of a problem by trying to fight with us and parents and say, no, you got to have that strap-on sex toy and oral sex pictures in there
It's
for
terrible,
the LGBTQ
Terry.
kids. You're
Yeah, it's
forcing
terrible.
it on us. And
I've
I guess
seen the
to your
books.
last question.
Yeah, I just want to mention I've seen the
book.
books, and some of these books,
Yeah.
I mean, here's how inappropriate they are. They show older people, like a 40-year-old man with a little boy, and they're celebrating that. I mean, there's something really demonic about that, and we see that the left more and more is calling evil good and good evil. And you yourself, you left the Democrat Party in 2013 because you really saw the Democrats embrace these radical policies. I mean, Americans have to wake up. This is bad for the future of America, and this is bad for the psyche of our most innocent. There's so much love that we can share and positivity. We can inspire people and lift people up. I don't understand why the left is so hooked on demonic thoughts of sexuality at young ages, including, babies, and celebrating things like late-term abortion. It breaks my heart.
Yeah. You know what this is about, as I learn more about, again, I was new to this. This is about this Marxist policies and dividing the children from their parents, taking control, they don't want to have people, they don't want them to grow up to be people like us, to speak out, right? They want to weaken them, confuse them. I don't know the exact stats of, bisexual girl, like went through the roof because they're trying to normalize this stuff. And then kids get confused in high school and want to do something different. They're purposely doing this. And when I got into it, it was about that. And then I see all this stuff is intertwined to collapse America. The open borders, the attacking of Trump, calling us Nazis, racist, homophobes. All we're trying to do is take care of our family and children. And just because we don't agree with pornography, that doesn't mean we're a Nazi and we hate gay people. Just because we don't want gang members coming in and flooding our country doesn't mean that we hate immigrants, legal immigrants.
That's
They're
exactly
twisting
right.
it to destroy America. And to your point, like, what can we do? I think to the audience, I'm an AMAC member, 63. I got younger, I got a younger wife, got remarried, and I have twins in high school. So I'm the grandpa dad, right? And I think the thing that I learned in this battle is that there's more grandparents and grandfathers too that are involved and passionate and worried and scared for their children and their grandchildren. And what all of us need to do as grandparents or whatever is say, hey, get off your ass and help me fight for your kids because I'm not going to be around forever. We need the channel of your audience to go back and we got to either guilt the sons to get involved, or I don't know. They got to wake up because if they're not involved now, I don't know when they're ever going to get involved. Right.
Yes.
I mean, there's enough craziness now to say, what the heck? And I have a job. I don't want to lose my job. I have, I'm fighting 2 cancers. I don't want to be, the stress. My wife's having a heart attack about, my job. Put that at risk just for fighting the way the environment is now and the stress of I had a reoccurrence. So far, knock on wood, I'm good. And it's like, I don't want to go to my deathbed without like trying to help my, for my kids. I feel it's so dire.
It's up to us.
The biggest thing we need to do in what your show is to get people recruited to say, get involved. You don't have to go and stand in front of a gang member, or be confrontational and, but get involved, recruit, help, get candidates that represent our values and our children in the future. If not, we're in a war. Most people don't know we're in this war and we're losing. We're really losing this war and we need help.
And this is why I encourage everyone listening to please join or renew your membership with AMAC. We need one resounding voice. We are over 2 million strong. Imagine the work that we can get done if we have 5 million AMAC members. Your voice, we bring it to Washington, we bring it to your state and your local congressman. We provide a way for you to engage with your community. You can do as little as you'd like or as much as you want. There's something there for everyone, but membership with AMAC is so crucial and so important. And I can promise you that for your $16, you're going to save 10 times, 20 times that by just utilizing AMAC's steep discounts and member benefits. Not only that, but you get the great AMAC magazine delivered right to your mailbox. I love, Terry, that you are getting involved in your community. You're getting involved through your podcast, Behind Enemy Lines. Share with our listeners how they can tune in and listen to you, because you've got some exciting and really important information that every American needs to hear.
Yeah, there's so much more videos that you guys can see. If you go to X at Terry Newsome 357, at Terry Newsome 357, or if you go to Rumble, because YouTube's slamming us, and so we're trying to build up Rumble. Just search Behind Enemy Lines, and we got Abraham Lincoln and military fatigues. That's our logo representing us in Illinois, fighting behind enemy lines.
Terrific. Terry Newsome, thank you so much for your commitment to protecting American citizens and really our way of life. I so admire your courage and really applaud your efforts to shine a light on the dangerous consequences of the Biden-Harris wide-open border policies. You're doing great shedding light on this horrific gang, Tren de Aragua. Let's pray that we see real action taken against these cartels that are taking over American cities. And again, thanks for fighting for parental rights in education and advocating for free speech. It's really terrific. We appreciate your membership with AMAC. Thank you, Terry, for being with me today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And to all of you out there listening, thank you so much for tuning in. That's it for today. I'm Rebecca Weber. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
We are proud to have First Fidelity Reserve as our official bullion and rare coin partner, as they have supported AMAC for over a decade. They are offering our members a free copy of their award-winning Precious Metals Guide to make investing in gold and silver safe and easy for you. Over the past 4 presidential election cycles, gold has trended upward, and this year looks to be the same, as experts estimate gold will gain 25% in 2024. So, don't miss out on $2,500 gold. Call First Fidelity Reserve, 800-336-1630. That's 800-336-1630, and get your free 38-page Precious Metals Guide today.